Thank you for coming to the Tales of St. Gwen. Today, Inquisitor Scully gives a lesson. And to begin,
Today is a lesson day.
I felt ridiculous. I was summoned to the flight controls early that morning to find a table set up with a datapad, a quill and ink, and more parchment than I could even imagine. I sat down, per Scully's order, and my jaw dropped as he pulled over a large imperial album tabula, which had large pictures I knew no one else but an Inquisitor could have. "What is going on?" I asked, picking up my datapad. "Is this some kind of joke?"
You should know that this is not my kind of joke," Scully replied. "When we went to the realm of Ultramar, you were taken by the appearance of the traitor Primarch, Mortarion."
Taken isn't the word I would use.
Would shock be better? Surprised, perhaps scared?
I glared at him, crossing my arms. Shocked.
Okay, so you were shocked by his appearance and nearly killed us.
I did not almost kill us.
I'm bored of our banter, so zip it and listen up. Today shall be a lesson on the traitor Primarchs. But to do that, I need to know your knowledge of the Horus heresy.
I know what everybody knows. That Horus Lupercal was corrupted by chaos and betrayed his brothers and the God Emperor himself, tearing the Imperium apart.
That is, quite honestly, the briefest explanation of the Horus heresy I have ever heard. While the truth is far more lengthy and intricate, we are only focused on what happened as a result of it. The traitor Primarchs. Tell me, Gwen, what do you know of the traitor Primarchs?
I know of them, their names and who they serve now. Nothing really beyond that.
Then let us review what you know and supply some new information. There are a total of 8 traitor Primarchs. 3 confirmed dead, 5 still alive.
I thought there was 9. I was taught that there was 9.
And I am here to teach you differently. 8 in total, 3 dead, 5 alive. We'll start with the easiest, Horus Lupercal. Horus was the War Master of the Emperor and the leader of the Sons of Horus Space Marines. He was the first Primarch to be rediscovered by our Emperor, and it's not wrong to say that he was the favorite. For all the good that he did, his betrayal was far worse. Found in a hive city, Cathonia, he was raised amongst the anarchic gangsters that populated the post-industrial nightmare, honeycombed with long-extinct minds. This shaped the young man, showed him the darkest parts of the Imperium, and drove him to better the world. As you know, Horus was the corruption that started the Horus heresy during the Great Crusade, and was the ultimate downfall of the Emperor. His corruption was not just one chaos god, but of all of them, making him chaos undivided. Horus was jealous and resentful towards the Emperor, and the ruinous powers used that to their advantage. They corrupted Horus to his core, and our Emperor refused to see it. Horus met his downfall by our Emperor himself, cut down like he had done to his brothers, thus ending the Horus heresy. Gwen, are you not writing this down?
Should I be? I asked.
Yes, that way you have records of your own.
I sighed, grabbing my quill. Scully waited as I wrote everything down before he continued.
Next we shall cover Magnus the Red, another key part of the Horus heresy. Magnus was a powerful psyker, originally meant to sit on the Golden Throne once the Great Crusade was finished. Magnus' very essence boiled with psychic potential, making him fight like a mythical god on the battlefield. Magnus was unique, having remembered his origins and creation before chaos spread the Primarchs around the universe. Magnus was raised on a planet called Prospero, which was a remote planet with a large psyker population. This planet was chosen for its inaccessibility, as the small colony was generally shunned by the galaxy for what happened during the Dark Age of technology. He was elevated as leader of Prospero due to his psychic abilities, and set about unifying the squabbling civilization. By the time the Emperor found him, Magnus was ready for his role in the Great Crusade. His turn to chaos is the opposite of Horus, though Horus was the key to it. Magnus was able to see the corruption of chaos attached to Horus, so in an attempt to stop it, he tried to contact the Emperor himself, but only caused more issues. The Emperor sent the Space Wolves to bring Magnus to the capital of Terra to explain himself, but Horus changed the order to execute Magnus and his Space Marines. Magnus did not want to give in to the taint of chaos. He watched as the Space Marines destroyed his world before he made the ultimate decision. Gaining power from Tzeentch, he transformed into a demon prince and went against the Emperor.
Further proof that psychers can't be trusted, I said, rotating my wrist once I finished speaking, trying to relieve the pain.
Your hatred for psychers is astounding. I know that your sisters dislike them, but yours is full-blown hatred. Where did this begin?
A lesson for another day, I smirked at him. He returned the smile before moving forward.
Third, we shall talk about Angron, the Red Angel. Despite his name, he was the most bloody-handed and vicious of all the Primarchs. When Horus went against the Emperor, Angron was quick to join forces of chaos. Angron was deposited on a planet named Nucaria, which was a planet that had a distinct line of wealthy and poor. It had little to offer its citizens besides gladiatorial death matches, man versus cybernetically enhanced, who battled to appease the masses. When Angron was discovered, he was discovered by a slaver and was thrown into an acid pit and forced to kill all other children to survive on the tallest platform. He soon became the star warrior of the death matches, winning every match due to his size and stature. He fell to chaos should have been easy to predict. His insatiable bloodlust outweighed his care for the Imperium, and he easily accepted the gifts of the chaos god Khorne and became a demon prince that runs the rivers with blood.
I finished writing about Angron, thinking of what his life would have been like. Once I finished, Scully moved to the next photo, one that I recognized instantly. Mortarion, I said.
Correct. The Primarch you saw on the field is a demon prince of Nurgle, and one of the darkest lives in the Imperium. Mortarion was deposited onto the planet Barbarous, a pre-industrial planet that was divided in two. Inhuman warlords ruled against the human settlers that had been left forgotten from eons ago, forced to forego the wrath of the overlords. Mortarion was taken in by one of the most powerful overlords, and he kept his future replacement. Mortarion was kept in a tower at a level that pushed even his limit of poisonous air, while his father lived far above him. While he was given a better life than others, he questioned his adopted father and soon found out the truth. The prey of the warlords were the same species as him, and he vowed to end the oppression, enact his revenge, and kill his adopted father. Welcomed by the villagers, he trained them in martial prowess to overtake the overlords and reclaim the planet. When Horus turned to chaos, it was not hard for Horus to drag Mortarion down with him. Horus was one of the only Primarchs Mortarion felt comfortable with, and he resented the Emperor. Mortarion had always wanted to kill his adopted father to enact his revenge, but was stopped, and so he was easily tainted by chaos.
It makes sense, I said. staring at the hand-drawn representation of what I had only seen a few days ago. His whole life was surrounded by plague. Nurgle would have welcomed him with open arms.
He is Nurgle's greatest demon prince,
Scully said, nodding.
Mortarion is a menace with his scythe, killing anything in his path.
Who is next?
The most pathetic of them all, Fulgrim.
Pathetic?
The most pathetic. The exact words I heard from a space marine Major Kill. All his life, Fulgrim pursued perfection in every sense of the word. He taught his space marines to pursue perfection as well, and he fell easily to the chaos god of Slaanesh.
Is that all?
That's all I wish to give this pathetic man. He was a pretty boy who didn't want to lift a finger in fear it would dirty his manicure.
And you say I feel hatred?
We'll circle back to that. First, let's finish this lesson. The next one is someone I draw parallels with quite often. Lorgar was corrupted by chaos and divided. His journey to that point was full of failure and treachery. Lorgar sought to uplift humanity through a deep belief in the divine. When the Emperor rejected his worship, he found others who were worthy of his devotion. Much of Lorgar's betrayal started upon the planet that he was found on. Colchis was the world of old gods and prayer, and worship was as much a part of them as the beating hearts of the population. He was raised by a priest who killed others in belief he was a messiah, and taught him, through abuse, how to worship. The key action that moved Lorgar to chaos was the Emperor's decision to destroy his legion and a planet he had conquered, because he used prayer and religion instead of force. He was poisoned by his people. It was the eventual tipping point of turning Horus against his fathers and brothers. He was elevated for his efforts for chaos to the demon prince.
My face was stone, my eyes on his face. Parallels, I said. I will shoot you, say the Adeptus Sororitas is a parallel.
I never said that. You assumed that.
Are we done? I asked, now crossing my arms. I bore of your lesson.
Patience. Only two left. Second to last is Pertrabo. Pertrabo only looked at the Great Crusade as a task given to him by the Great Emperor, found on the planet Olympia.
Seriously, I said, interrupting it. I can't take much more of this. I know of Pertrabo, that he is deceased.
Are you pushing my knowledge aside?
No such thing. I only know of Pertrabo and his story. I know of Curze, who is also dead, and his story. I know about them.
What do you know about Curze?
Scully asked, pulling a chair over and sat across from me. My eyes moved from him to the sketch of Curze and back and sighed. I leaned my arms on the table and thought of the words to describe him. Konrad Curze was a tortured soul who fell to chaos for the power to calm his mind. Known as the Night Haunter, Curze was plagued his entire life with dark visions of the future, and taught his legions that fear was the most potent form of fighting. His mind was broken and torn from a young age, and in the end he was killed by a Kaldis assassin.
Do you believe he willingly allowed her to kill him?
I took a moment, thinking of the right answer before I nodded. Yes, I do. I believe that when the moment came, he allowed her to kill him. Scully was silent for a moment before nodding.
You said at the beginning of the lesson you believe there were 9 traitor Primarchs. Let me confuse the situation. Alpharius and Angron were twins. One was killed at the Battle of Pluto. Some believe it was Alpharius. Some believe it was Angron. But no one knows for sure. This is an eternal debate. Who they believe is leading their legion, but no one knows for sure. I believe that whoever is leading, they are playing the long game. Yes, they serve Tzeentch, but they also aid the Imperium. So they play both sides.
So we have no true knowledge if they serve the ruinous powers or not.
Exactly,
Scully said. He noticed how my eyes kept moving to Curze, and he raised an eyebrow.
Are you fascinated with Curze's appearance?
Not just his appearance, but his personality as well. He was haunted, broken, and welcomed death in the end. What kind of broken soul cannot be repaired?
Some things can never be repaired, and you will learn that during your time here on my ship.
Is our lesson over?
Yes, you may go.
I did so, leaving the room quickly.
She seems almost in admiration of the traitor,
Tim said, walking out of the shadows.
Gwen's history is still a mystery,
Scully said, turning to look at him.
Don't you know it? Isn't that why you requested her? I requested her because of her knowledge of fighting chaos, taint, and demons. Her quick thinking and willingness to shoot the corruption in the face, but not her upbringing or history.
And you're trying to figure it out? Tim asked.
Everyone has a story, a reason why they serve the Emperor. I want to know yours.
How long were you in the shadows?
The entire time.
Scully shook his head before looking at the door I had taken out, his mind thinking. Thank you for coming to this tale of St. Gwen. If you like the video, please give it a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel as this helps the channel greatly. And I will see you in the next one.